Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today's subject is Star Wars Special Ops Troopers. Which is your favourite? Alright, so what we're going to do there is we're going to check out 5. Now, you've got a choice of the Storm Commando, the Death Trooper, the Shadow Trooper, the Purge Trooper, or the Clone Shadow Trooper. Okay, and what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about them and see which one I think's the best, and see what you think. Well, the first one, the Shadow Trooper, that was the first special ops to be made after the end of the Clone Wars, and these guys were black in look to blend into the Knights where they usually worked, and they wore lightweight armor that was reinforced with reflex, and what that does is that reduces the sound and the detection capability of the armor. They also use blasters and flame troopers. Okay, so what they used to do is a group of them would go into a special ops, would turn around and will concentrate on going after the resistance fighters and that. These guys looked a lot like scout troopers, and they had built-in HUD displays with night vision equipment. Alright, so these guys were pretty stealthy, and they used a variety of weapons. Okay, now the next one, the Death Trooper, again. Okay, well these guys, they were heavily armed. What they were, they turned around and used reflex on their armor, which reduced their signature. They were stealth capabilities. They turned around and were guards to special people in the Empire. All right, and they usually worked in a group of about 4 to 6. Now, these guys used thermal grenades as well as heavy blasters, light blasters, and pistols, and had their own scrambled speaking system so they could communicate with one another. Okay, so these guys were probably the heaviest armed and were heavily trained. So was also all of them actually were heavily trained if you go by the information on the web. The third one is the Shadow Trooper. Now again, this is the predecessor of this came after the Storm Commando. These guys were created by Black Hole, who was an intelligence agency, and what he did, he turned around and made them into a stealth ops organization. And these guys had black armor, as I said, had reflex armor, which was stealth capability, had heads-up display in their helmets, had night vision capability, used the E11 blaster, but also used a variety of other weapons, as well as thermal detonators, or stun detonators to be more precise. They also had extra ammo pouches because they concentrate more on less weapons and having more ammunition to that type of weapon than the previous ops people. And they also used a jetpack so they could turn around and get out of sticky situations real easy. And they had a cloaking device because their jobs was to work at night, sneak in, penetrate into an enemy compound, and eliminate, or I should say assassinate, the target that they required. These guys relied on stealth. They were kind of like the ninjas of their days. Now, the fourth one is the Purge Trooper. And these guys, again, black armor, looked a lot like airborne troopers from the Clone Wars. And these guys used the D615A blaster rifle, as well as melee weapons like the electro staff, the electro baton, and the electro hammer. And what these guys do is they were designed specifically to help assist the Inquisitors to hunt down Jedi. So these guys were trained. These were the last batch of clones that were ever produced before they turned around and went to civilian, or I should say non-clone species to be in the special ops clubs. And these guys trained heavily, were very highly skilled, able to use melee weapons, able to use handheld weapons as well. They were very tough. And of course, the fifth one is the Shadow Clone Trooper. Now, this one is very similar to was a retake of the Shadow Trooper, and basically that was the predecessor. They were, and these guys were the first batch of Special Ops Shadow Troopers to exist, and they had a lot of experience during the Clone Wars and were at many battles, infiltrating areas to demolition hardened structures, as in gun emplacements, or eliminate key commanders. So that's the choice we've got. The one thing I've noticed is they're all black. They all use stealth armor. They all use specialized weapons. They all had heads-up displays. They all had night vision capability. So they had a lot in common. They all train a special ops style, the elite of the elite, the best of the best. But so it's a matter of you picking which one you think is the best. I personally think my favourite has to be the Shadow Trooper, mainly because of he has the cloaking device, so an added advantage of you can't see him as well as detect him. And with the jetpack, they were able to get out of sticky situations, so they could turn around and jump out. They could get out when things got tough. They're all good. As you know, I like all the special ops troopers in Star Wars, in canon and legend, and yeah, I just like them, and all these guys look really good. But well, I think the Shadow Trooper, okay, extra ammunition, less weapons, so they have plenty of ammo. Still use the flash grenades, which would be handy to stun your opponent, because they're designed for stealth missions and espionage and during the dark, so they're not going to exactly use explosive grenades to wake up everyone where they are. So they're going to use stun grenades and flash grenades to disable their opponents so they can finish them off, you know. Only thing is, as I say to these guys, is none of them have vibro blades. You think they'd have a dagger or some type of weapon to get up close and personal, but none of these have that. But maybe in hindsight they do, you just don't see it. It's never been mentioned. I've never seen it on any of the pictures of these guys anyway, you know. So yeah, so they're the ones. So but that's what I think. The Shadow Trooper would be my favourite. Okay, well, that's my opinion. I'm curious to know what yours would be. Let me know on the comments below and tell me what you think. And hopefully we'll see more special ops units coming up. I didn't include the Commandos or the Arc Troopers, because these ones are more special ops. These are more stealth type of troopers, and that was what I was concentrating on this time. So that's the reason why these guys were put in there. Weren't put in there, I should say. Okay, but let me know what you think. Have a look, and be good. May the force be with you, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.